There is something beautiful about being a good person. You love, you give, you forgive, you open your heart even when the world teaches you to close it. But have you ever wondered, is it always good to be so good? I used to believe that being selfless was a virtue, that if I kept giving, the world would one day give back. But I learned, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people take and take until there's nothing left of you. Not your smile, not your strength, not even your identity. You see, there's a hidden pain in always being the good one. The one who stays quiet, the one who understands, the one who never complains. But silence can be heavy, and understanding others too much can make you forget what it feels like to be understood. Being good is beautiful, but being too good, it can become a burden that breaks you softly. We live in a world where boundaries are mistaken for selfishness, where saying no is judged, where walking away is labeled as unkind. But what about the kindness you owe yourself? What about the love you deny your own soul while pouring it endlessly into others? Sometimes you have to choose you. Not because you don't care, but because you finally realized you matter too. I want you to remember this. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to take a break. You are allowed to walk away from people who don't value you, even if you once loved them with all your heart. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. Stop lighting everyone else's world while sitting in the dark yourself. Be good, yes, but don't be too good that you forget you're human. You bleed, you cry, you need. Choose balance. Be kind but firm. Be loving but wise. And most importantly, be good, but never at the cost of your own soul. Being too good can become self-neglect. Don't pour from an empty cup. At first, it sounds like something only a selfish person would say. After all, isn't kindness a virtue? Isn't being selfless the highest form of love? From a very young age, we are taught to give, to help, to support others unconditionally. We are taught to put others first, to consider their needs before our own, and to offer compassion even when it hurts. It becomes a pattern, a part of our personality, something we wear like a badge of honor. But what they don't teach us is that goodness without boundaries slowly turns into self-destruction. What begins as a noble trait quietly evolves into a quiet form of emotional exhaustion. When you're too good, too often, people stop noticing that it's a choice. They begin to expect it. Your patience becomes their permission. Your kindness becomes their comfort zone. And slowly, your feelings, your needs, your exhaustion, all of it becomes invisible. You're no longer seen as someone who might need help, support, or love. You're seen as the one who has it all together, the strong one, the reliable one, the one who never breaks. But the truth is, even the sun gets tired of shining every day. Even the ocean needs rest. Pouring from an empty cup means giving when you have nothing left to give. It means showing up for everyone else while quietly falling apart inside. You smile because that's what people expect. But deep down, you're aching for someone to ask, "How are you really?" You tell yourself it's okay, that you'll be fine, that being good, even when it hurts, is the right thing to do. But how long can you carry everyone else before you collapse under the weight of your own silence? There comes a time when being too good becomes a form of betrayal, not to others, but to yourself. You betray your needs, your desires, your well-being. You start saying yes out of guilt, not love. You keep forgiving without healing. You keep giving without receiving. And slowly, a part of you begins to disappear. The part that once laughed freely, the part that once dreamed loudly, the part that once believed it was okay to be cared for too. Being too good often means putting yourself last. It means staying up late for someone who wouldn't lose sleep for you. It means listening to everyone's problems while your own thoughts scream for attention. It means being the helper, the fixer, the nurturer, until one day you look in the mirror and no longer recognize the person staring back. She's tired, she's worn out, she's empty, but still she keeps going because that's what good people do, right? But what if being good didn't mean breaking yourself to fix others? What if it meant loving people from a place of fullness instead of depletion? What if your compassion could include you too? You see, self-neglect in the name of goodness is not noble, it's harmful, and eventually it leaves you hollow. You cannot continue to pour into others when your own cup is dry. You cannot keep breathing life into others when your own spirit is gasping for air. No one claps for the one who quietly suffers. No one rewards the silent giver who loses herself in the name of love. Because to the world, you seem fine. You're functioning, you're smiling, you're still showing up. But inside, you're silently pleading for someone to notice that you're running on empty. that you need rest, that you need care, that you need to be seen. It's not selfish to pause. It's not wrong to say no. It's not cruel to choose yourself, because when you take care of your own heart, you don't just survive, you thrive. You glow, you give with joy, not obligation. And that's when your goodness becomes powerful. Not the kind that breaks you, but the kind that builds you. So if you've been feeling drained, if you've been feeling unseen, if you've been giving too much for too long, this is your reminder. You matter too. Your peace matters. Your energy matters. You are not a machine built to serve others endlessly. You are a soul that deserves as much love as you give. Fill your own cup, nourish your own spirit, and remember, being good to yourself is also a form of goodness, a sacred one. Unconditional kindness without boundaries can lead to pain. Love others, but not at the cost of losing yourself. Kindness is a beautiful thing. It reflects warmth, empathy, and the ability to care deeply for others, even when they don't ask for it, or sometimes even when they don't deserve it. It's a silent language that says, I see you, I value you, I'm here for you, I'm here to listen. But when that kindness knows no boundaries, when it becomes constant self-sacrifice, it begins to hurt more than it heals. It starts to erode your sense of self and opens the door to emotional fatigue, disappointment, and even resentment. What once was a noble intention quietly becomes the reason behind your own suffering. There is something inherently powerful about loving unconditionally. It's raw, pure, and without agenda. But even love, in its most innocent form, needs limits. Because people, intentionally or unintentionally, will take as much as you allow. If you never draw the line, they may never stop crossing it. They won't always know when they've asked too much or taken too far, especially if you never told them where too much begins. Your silence, your endless giving, your willingness to bend every time, it becomes the language they understand, and soon it becomes the expectation that you will always be there, that you will always forgive, that you will always understand. But where do you go when you need that same compassion? Where do you turn when you're the one who's tired, hurting, or lost? The hard truth is, when you make everyone else your priority without checking in with your own heart, you slowly disappear. You shrink yourself to fit into people's lives. You edit your emotions so others can be comfortable. You give until there's nothing left, and even then you find more to offer. And one day you look around and realize they're all okay, but you're not. You start to notice that while your love has lifted others, you've been sinking quietly. You're the one people rely on but rarely ask how you're doing. You're the shoulder to cry on, but when you cry, it echoes in silence, and yet you keep loving, hoping that one day someone will see the weight you carry behind your smile. You hope that your loyalty, your patience, your unwavering support will be enough to make someone turn around and choose you the way you've chosen them. But that day doesn't always come. Without boundaries, love becomes a transaction you never agreed to. You keep giving, they keep taking, and the imbalance slowly becomes unbearable. You begin to wonder if maybe love shouldn't hurt this much. If maybe kindness isn't supposed to feel like surrender. If maybe, just maybe, you're allowed to love others without losing yourself in the process. And the answer is yes, you are. You are allowed to be kind and still say no. You are allowed to love deeply and still walk away from people who drain your spirit. You are allowed to be soft and still choose yourself first, because you were never meant to carry everyone on your back while dragging your broken pieces behind you. That is not strength. That is self-abandonment disguised as love. People will call you selfish when you start setting boundaries. They'll be surprised when the person who always said yes suddenly says, I can't. Don't let that stop you. You're not becoming cruel, you're becoming conscious. You're learning that your energy is not infinite and your heart is not unbreakable. You're realizing that in order to continue being kind, you have to protect the source of that kindness, yourself. Real love isn't about how much you can endure for others. It's about how much you're willing to honor your own worth while still showing up for the people you care about. It's not about giving all the time, it's about giving with wisdom. It's not about letting people walk over you, it's about walking beside them while still standing firmly in your truth. Because the moment you lose yourself in someone else's story, you stop writing your own. So no, don't stop being kind, don't stop loving, but let your love have roots, not just wings. Let your kindness have direction, not just depth. Let your heart give, but let it rest too. You are not a limitless source of light. Even stars need the night. You deserve to be loved the way you love others. You deserve to be seen, heard, and valued. And you don't have to lose yourself to prove your heart. Sometimes no is an act of self-love. Saying no doesn't make you bad, it makes you human. There is a quiet kind of power in the word no. It's not loud, it's not aggressive, but it carries weight, it draws lines, it says, this is where I end and this is where you must stop. Yet for so many of us, saying no feels wrong. It feels selfish. It feels like we are letting people down, disappointing them, or appearing unkind. So instead we say yes when we mean no. We overextend, we overcommit, and we slowly drown in a sea of expectations that we never asked for. We smile through discomfort. We carry burdens that aren't ours. We give time we don't have, energy we can't afford, and space we desperately need. And we call it kindness. But it's not kindness when it costs you your peace. It's not generosity when it empties your soul. When you say yes just to keep others happy while your heart quietly pleads for rest, you are not being noble. You are abandoning yourself. And that kind of sacrifice, the one where you always put yourself last, is not love, it's self-neglect. The truth is, no is not a rejection of others. It's an acceptance of yourself. It's you choosing your limits, your well-being, your needs. It's you recognizing that you cannot be everything to everyone and still be something to yourself. And yet we struggle with it. We struggle because we want to be good. We want to be liked. We want to be there for people, especially the ones we care about. We've been taught that good people always say yes, that love means sacrifice, and that showing up for others matters more than showing up for ourselves. But that belief quietly chips away at our sense of self-worth. It convinces us that our value comes from our availability, not our authenticity. Every time you say yes when you mean no, a small part of you resents it. Maybe not right away, but over time, that resentment grows. It turns into fatigue, into burnout, into sadness you can't quite explain, into anger you direct at yourself for not speaking up. And still, you stay silent because you don't want to hurt anyone. You don't want to cause conflict. But here's the thing. Peace that costs you your own voice isn't peace. It's a performance, a role you're playing to keep others comfortable while you slowly lose connection with who you really are. You don't have to apologize for needing space. You don't have to feel guilty for putting yourself first. You don't have to explain your boundaries to anyone who benefits from you not having any. Saying no is not cruel. It's honest. It's an act of self-respect. It's a decision to honor your time, your mental health, your emotional capacity. It's not about pushing people away. It's about protecting the parts of you that you've spent years ignoring just to be accepted. Some people won't understand your no. They'll question it. They'll challenge it. They'll try to guilt you back into your old patterns. Not because your no is wrong, but because your yes served them. But the people who truly love you, they will respect it. They will understand that loving someone doesn't mean owning them. It means allowing them to be whole, even when that means stepping back. Real relationships are not built on constant sacrifice. They're built on mutual respect and understanding. The first few times you say no, it might feel uncomfortable. It might sting, but over time, it gets easier. You begin to notice the freedom it brings, the clarity, the strength. You begin to feel lighter, not because you're doing less, but because you're doing what's right for you. You stop saying yes out of fear. You start saying no out of love. Love for your boundaries, your truth, your sanity. You are not here to be everything for everyone. You are not here to please the world at the cost of your own soul. You are here to live fully, to love honestly, and to honor the quiet voice inside you that says, this doesn't feel right. That voice is wisdom. That voice is you. And every time you say no when you need to, you're listening to her. You're telling her, I hear you. I value you. I choose you. So if the world ever makes you feel like your no makes you less loving, less giving, less kind, remember this. Saying no doesn't make you bad. It makes you honest. It makes you real. It makes you human. And sometimes being human is the most loving thing you can be. True strength is in balance, kindness with wisdom, love with self-respect. There is a quiet elegance in a person who walks with balance. They are not loud, yet their presence commands attention. They are kind, but not naive. Loving, but not lost. They give, but not to the point of emptiness. These are the people who have learned, often through pain and disappointment, that strength isn't always found in sacrifice, endurance, or toughness. Sometimes true strength is knowing when to stay and when to walk away, when to speak up and when to let silence do the talking, when to give your heart and when to protect it. We often celebrate extremes: the selfless person who gives everything, the fierce one who never lets anyone in, the one who always says yes, or the one who trusts no one. But life is rarely lived well in extremes. It is in the middle, the space where softness meets stability, that real strength is born. Being kind doesn't mean being foolish. Being wise doesn't mean being cold. Balance is learning to hold both, to care deeply and still carry clarity. Kindness is powerful. It connects people, it opens doors, it heals wounds. But kindness without wisdom can leave you vulnerable to manipulation, to heartbreak, to cycles that drain your soul. If you're always saying yes, always helping, always available, some will mistake your kindness for weakness. They will take advantage of your gentle heart, not because you're not strong, but because they assume you won't say no. And if you allow it for too long, you start to believe that maybe your kindness is a flaw. But it isn't. It just needs guidance. It needs direction. Wisdom is what keeps your kindness strong, not fragile. Wisdom reminds you that it's okay to care, but it's also okay to step back, to say, this is not my responsibility, to draw lines, not out of anger, but out of love for yourself. Because if you're constantly rescuing people who never learned to swim, you'll eventually drown with them. Wisdom teaches you to be kind without compromising your inner peace. It helps you see what's worth your energy and what's slowly stealing your joy. And love is a beautiful force. It makes us brave. It softens the hardest days. It makes everything feel possible. But love without self-respect can become something dangerous. It can turn into obsession, into silent suffering, into staying where you are not valued. Love, when it forgets to include you, becomes a prison. And self-respect is the key that sets you free. Self-respect says, I deserve the same effort I give. It reminds you that love is not supposed to hurt all the time, that it's not your job to fix people at the cost of breaking yourself. Self-respect whispers to you when you're being overlooked, taken for granted, or treated as an option. It nudges you to walk away, not because you don't care, but because you finally realize you should care about yourself too. And when love and self-respect exist together, something beautiful happens. You stop begging for crumbs of attention. You stop justifying toxic behavior. You stop shrinking your light just to keep someone else from feeling small. Balance is knowing that your heart can be both open and protected, that you can forgive but also hold people accountable, that you can love someone deeply and still recognize when it's time to let go. It's knowing that you're not responsible for everyone's happiness, that your worth isn't measured by how much you sacrifice, that your voice matters, your needs are valid, and your peace is sacred. True strength is not found in how much pain you can endure or how much you can do for others. It's found in how well you take care of your soul while you walk through life. It's in your ability to say, this is enough for me. It's in your courage to be soft in a world that tries to make you hard. It's in your decision to love yourself just as fiercely as you love others. When you find balance, you stop running from one extreme to the other. You start living in the present, rooted and real. You know when to rest and when to rise, when to listen and when to speak, when to hold on and when to let go. You stop trying to prove your worth through actions that leave you exhausted. You start embracing the stillness in your spirit and the strength in your boundaries. Balance is not perfection. It's not about always getting it right. It's about staying true to yourself in a world that constantly pulls you in different directions. It's about knowing that you can be kind and wise, loving and strong, giving and grounded. That is the beauty of balance. That is the heart of true strength.